So our project is made by Nicole, Alex, John, Lavina, and Palak. Next slide. The project was created with a purpose of finding out the importance of social media algorithm, their engagement rates, and further gathering insights on different social media platforms, audience, and the type of content used. We have chosen our brand name to be Tasty Travels, as it's quite obvious what it's about, and it'll make it really easy for the audience to find our account if need be, with the content of it being focused on various places to eat in different countries, and while solidifying the credibility by suggesting spots that we have individually visited and tried, not spots that we have found online. And the type of content we chose was in order to make the target audience as broad as possible and to captivate the foodies and people that enjoy traveling in general. And we try to make the age gap as broad as possible to capture the most amount of audience possible. So we made the age gap between 18 and 65. Next slide, please. So the social media platforms we have specifically chosen were Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, and TikTok. And these were chosen specifically based on their statistics, as they showed significant engagement rates, and also obviously with increasing chances of brand awareness in general. Social media, of course, a powerful tool in today's society and will continue to be due to its ability to captivate the attention of most of the population whilst creating niche communities, which is what we're trying to do now and showcase to everyone. Next slide, please.
So we have 4 objectives for our Tasty Travel. So the first one is to increase brand awareness by creating engaging content for customers. And the second one is to achieve a minimum of 25 followers on all of the social media platforms. And the third one is to understand different engagement rates on different platforms. And last but not least, to attract new consumers to a variety of places to try. So, according to Porter's strategy, businesses must decide whether to target wide or specific market sectors and whether to achieve distinctiveness or cheap cost as a mean of gaining an edge. And we are planning to have different social media platforms to share our restaurant recommendation because we understand that everyone has different preferences when it comes to using social media. So like it's people that don't use like a certain platform. So like we try to like gain as much attention as we can. And we also decided to post on a Tuesday and a Thursday because we feel like this gives like a few days to post again, just so like our customers don't find that we're constantly posting that and it'll be too much for them. And in this way we can gain more interaction with them. We also decided to post on a Tuesday and Thursday because we found out that these days has like the highest engagement rates. These are like the times that people go into their social media the most. Next slide, please.
So for our project, we decided to look at KPI and goals. So KPI means key performance indicator, which is a way a brand can set goals and expectations and then measure if they reach these goals in order to improve their brand. So one of our goals was to reach 25 followers across all platforms, which we found that Instagram had the most followers and Pinterest had the least. So with these screenshots there, you can see that Instagram gained 70 followers and Pinterest only gained 1 follower. So research found that Instagram had 2 billion users monthly, whereas Pinterest only had 482 million users. So this then showed us that it was easier to reach our goal with Instagram instead of Pinterest, as the engagement rates were higher on Instagram.
So our aim is to post twice a week, and each post will be like a different destination that one of us have been to before. And like we said in like the last slide, like the last 2 slides, we've decided to post on a Tuesday and Thursday because these days are the days that we found that have the highest engagement rates. And the purpose for our polls was to gain engagement from our followers and recommend them places to eat. The studies found out that 48% of travelers use social media to find places to eat. So that show that like by us promoting places to eat on social media, then we'll gain engagement. We also recommend different restaurants from different countries and cities, just so like our followers don't feel like the content are repeated and boring. Next slide, please. So like these are our content calendars. So there's like 5 content calendar and one's for each week. So in the content calendar, we can see we have in our content calendar, we can see there's 6 different columns, and the first one is our 5 different social media platforms, and the second one is like the day we post, and the third one is like a status, like if we failed to post or we've like made a post, and the third one is like the date we post it, and the fourth one is like the restaurant or like the country that we post, and the fifth is like kind of like the brief content, and the sixth is like the visual type. So as we can see, we post on a Tuesday and Thursday, and in each week we post for restaurants that's at different countries. So just like we said in the last slide, we try not to repeat them, and like we will introduce all the restaurants, its location and price range, because we understand that like we all have different budget when we are abroad traveling. So we're just trying to feel like it's easier to find out them if it's like suit their budget or not. And then for location, it's just to see if it's convenient for them to go to that restaurant, so they can like pick that restaurant, well, go to that restaurant on that day. Next slide, please. So this is our weekly evaluation. So like we can see in our content calendar, we only had 1 post in week 1 and week 3, and in week 2 we didn't make any posts. However, in week 4 and 5 we managed to post twice on all of our platforms. So in order to post more frequently, we should have come up with 2 drafts for each week's post, just a week before we post, like what restaurant are we planning to recommend and the images we'll be using, so we will have more time to construct our post and make any changes if needed. Next slide, please.
So looking back at our project, we had some wins, challenges and opportunities. So 2 wins that we had was that our Instagram account reached 70 followers, which was due to posting on the account and engaging with followers. And our TikTok account reached 874 views on 1 post alone, which is a high amount of engagement. However, the challenges we had was continuing to post regularly to keep engagement rates up, which affected our overall engagement, and knowing how much to post, as not posting enough affected our engagement with consumers. But 2 opportunities that we learned was that if we posted more content, then our rates would have been a lot higher across all platforms. And moving forward, we now know that we should have prepared more on what we were going to post on our social media.
After all the strategy on time frames for posting all the content on the social media, we also managed to get all to keep up with analytic engagement metrics. We had our project plan, which was we had an aim to grow social media presence, increase brand visibility, user engagement, and generate revenue through marketing collaborations. We also cited with this paper from Awareness and Corporate 2012. Also, we were keeping an eye on our performance metrics, and which on average on our all social media posts, we had average like of 70 likes, 20 comments, 15 shares per post, including all the social media platforms. We had Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, and YouTube. We also have our data-driven performance, where we posted visual appealing images for the recommendation and a brief description of locations and the restaurants we recommended in our posts, which helped us to get brand engagement, brand visibility through strategic social media performance. We also analyze our engagement data that reveals the audience preferences on per post, like what kind of posts people like to engage, and from our recommendations. We also had a rise 30% of followers in the growth rate of our followers in the 6-week periods. Our metrics mastery was we created regular performance reports and we presented findings to stakeholders to make future recommendations. Also, we analyzed the follower growth to understand marketing initiatives and our target audience, what they prefer. We also had an increment in audience engagement on social media followers as well, which helped to get success in our social media marketing efforts that we were aiming towards. We addressed deviations, we analyzed KPIs, we gathered data from engagement metrics to compare which metric doesn't meet the expected targets. We were working towards where we needed the opportunities and examine factors such as competition, marketing conditions to analyze the reasons of the deviations. For the solution, we changed in strategy, we refinement our data, optimize performance, adjust into marketing. By these initiatives, we successfully helped social media, Tasty Travel social media page to increase online interactions and improve its performance. As well as engagement and impact.
Cool. So for engagement and impact, during our project, we had to manage successful forms of engagement on our social media platforms through different methods of communication and involvement. By sending out an introduction post on all of our platforms, our followers and desired audiences can better understand what we're trying to achieve and what can be expected. To the right of the slide there, you can see the first Instagram post that we had, which had the same introduction post that we had for each, just introducing our logo and explaining roughly what we are setting out to do at the moment was to come and try and engage with the audience that we tried to target in the first place. The first Instagram post received 19 likes and 2 comments and started gaining account followers as we introduced our ideas, image, and express which forms of media we'll be contributing towards through different hashtags and labels, which you can all see through the example to the right. Next slide, please. So further success in engagement, our profile on the social media platform X also managed to be beneficial towards engagement even through lack of followers. Although our profile itself wasn't widely acknowledged, the post sent out by the account had a varied number of views. The graph to the right displays the variation of viewership. So the graph on the right here shows from posts from 1 to 6 that we did on X. And to the left, you can see the spike in viewership go down and back up, even though that on the Twitter account, we didn't really get that many followers or likes or comments, but we still managed to get views from the way that we were tagging the posts and which type of audiences we were trying to reach. Our posts made on the account were constructed to reach our target audience by providing images, information, and like on our other accounts, certain tags and links. Given that the posts had far more connection and impact than the information given on the profile itself, we adapted the content we issued out to better reach out and engage, which allowed us to have a continued collection of views and acknowledgements. Next slide, please.
So to further emphasize, our TikTok account has exceeded our expectations in terms of viewership. However, we have realized that it's all due to the algorithm. So according to Brandon J, TikTok is the most popular app of the year so far, mainly due to its innovative use of the algorithm, which will help each consumer view only the type of content they enjoy. And that, of course, helped us gain the 800 views that we didn't really expect because of the previous posts that we posted, meaning that we have created an increase in engagement due to the amount of posts that we've created. So TikTok has gained the most number of views, although the number of followers is low, which was our main issue. We have managed to get some form of engagement through views, however, they're not transfer into followings, and of course it's due to the For You page algorithm. The most recent post has gained 800 views. with the main difference being the tagging of the restaurant. So that's another reason why it gained so many views. It's because we tagged the restaurant, which made it a lot easier for the audience to actually see the restaurant for themselves by simply clicking through a button rather than having to type out themselves. And we end up having just an overall average of 547 views per video. Next slide, please.
Cool. So links to changes in communication and benefits gained from our impact. The timing of the posts and consistency of uploads express the achievements gained when addressing the impact of our campaign over a certain time period. Different engagement strategies used were manipulated by the reception our content receives over the selected weeks that we were continually posting. Basically, everything that we posted in the previous slides, how we had to manipulate what sort of plan that we had given the certain reaction that we got on a platform, with the TikTok being tagging certain restaurants and using more hashtags and rather actually engaging with an audience through like comments. We use different tags to get higher views, and that provided likes and then comments for to follow on from then. Although our posting schedule carried on, the reception of our work differed in popularity and noticeability. However, due to the multiple accounts that we had on different areas, when one started to slip in engagement, another one would rise, highlighting what forms of content received better and worse types of engagement and impact given their platform. This knowledge was further used to better benefit the team's effort and push ourselves forward. Next slide, please.
So to look back and reflect on a project and what we would recommend, we looked at the Gibbs Reflective Cycle, which is a self-reflection and management tool that enables users to look back and make sense of the experience they had throughout a particular activity. So the image here shows you the 6 different stages of Gibbs Reflective Cycle. So the first one is description, which is describing the event itself. So our team was to create content to post for our brand, Tasty Travels, which was recommending places to eat when travelling abroad. The second stage is talking about the feelings. So this project was a difficult experience as it took a lot of time to gain content to post, and making the time to post also became difficult, just trying to get through everyday life and make sure you're always posting to engage that content. Number 3 is evaluation. So one positive to take from this experience was that we got to see our following grow across all platforms and watch how people engage with what we recommend was good to eat. However, a negative from this experience was trying to gain the content to post within a good time frame, as we could have posted more if we had the time and the content to post. Next slide, please. So number 4, stage 4 talks about analysis, which is we said the experience went well as people did engage with our content. As you can see, we did get high views on TikTok, and we also gained a lot of likes on our Instagram posts. However, the experience could have went better if we had a stronger plan in place for posting. So if we prepared more, we could have had a better chance of having higher engagement rates. So the last stage, stage 5 is a conclusion. So in conclusion, this experience has made us understand that having a strong strategy in place and communicating can make a difference in engagement rates. And number 6 is an action plan. So what we would recommend and what we would do if we had this opportunity again, the one thing we'd do different is look at more strategies and what worked for other brands when posting their content. And we would also not hesitate to post more in order to achieve the best engagement rates. And the next slide is just our references, and thanks for watching.